according to what we've set out in Roe versus Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey. But the problem was they couldn't get over the procedural hurdle. And the way the law was written was only private citizens can bring enforcement actions. In other words, if a private citizen like you or me find out that an individual is doing abortions after the 6-week mark in Texas in violation of the law, you can bring an action. And if found civilly liable, not criminal, this isn't a criminal statute, but if found civilly liable, that individual can be fined $10,000 and the one bringing the suit can recover attorney's fees. The motive behind this is to make it expensive for abortionists to keep doing their work in Texas. So by the time it got to the Supreme Court said, you haven't met your procedural burden. These two individuals, one of whom has signed the affidavit, another of whom is a state actor who can't enforce it the way the law's written, obviously are not doing you any imminent harm. So you haven't shown us not only that we need to get involved on an emergency basis because nothing's pending here, but you also haven't proven to us that you're in the right position to assert a constitutional defense. Now, for that to work, these individuals would have to wait until they would actually be sued for an enforcement of this Texas heartbeat law. So a citizen would find out they were doing these illegal abortions, they would bring a civil action, and then an abortionist could raise as an affirmative defense a violation of Roe versus Wade, saying, well, the law itself is unconstitutional, so the action needs to be dismissed. It's actually quite an ingenious way to write a piece of legislation.
Yeah, and I think that, I'm guilty of this myself and getting caught up in the procedure. It makes me want to ask the questions like, well, who exactly can file a complaint? How many people could? Doesn't that create a problem? There's just so many questions that I have about this procedure, but I think, like I said, that we're all getting caught up on that, and the left is caught up on that, and the media,
yes.
But what is it that you think people should know about this moment, other than the procedure?
You know what? That is a great question. I will say that the Supreme Court very clearly said, and this is a 5-4 decision, 4 separate dissents, the liberal justices plus Chief Justice Robert, who we're learning more and more is a moderate as opposed to a conservative, and then the 5 conservative justices. In their opinion, the conservative justices said very clearly, we're making no determination as to the constitutionality of the heartbeat law. We are just saying simply that these abortionists have not met their procedural burdens. And so